Two masked bandits broke into a bank in California after hours, but they've been released and they will not be facing charges. Muddy paw prints left behind at the scene suggest that the raccoon duo climbed a tree outside of the bank, somehow made their way into the air ducts, and then made a dramatic entrance by bursting through the ceiling tiles. Their heist was foiled when a customer using the outdoor ATM spotted something moving inside. Upon making the realization that it was a couple of wild raccoons, he called the Peninsula Humane Society to report the would-be criminals. Responding to their first bank robbery call ever, the Humane Society team arrived at the scene and spent about 10 minutes chasing the partners in crime around. They determined that thankfully neither raccoon had been injured while attempting to rob the bank, and they'd only caused minor damage, knocking over one computer and shuffling around some papers. Using the confused wild animal defense, they were cleared of all alleged crimes. They were safely returned to the outdoors, and they didn't end up making off with any cash, at least to anyone's knowledge. A Seattle woman is fighting a losing battle against a wild raccoon for the title of her parents' favorite child. Stacy Rost says that her parents lost their dog recently and that her stepdad, Rick, has unfortunately found the worst way to cope. He has named a local raccoon Little Rick, aka Raccoon, and he now feeds him breakfast every morning. Little Rick now lives on the couple's porch, and they're so enamored with him that Stacy is growing concerned that the raccoon is working her out of the will. Apparently, Stacy's parents first saw Little Rick as a young raccoon with a foot injury, watched him recover, and became attached. Stacy says that her mom claims she's against the whole thing, but that she believes she's lying and is actually in cahoots with her stepdad. She's offered to help her parents find another pet like a cat or a dog, but they claim they don't want another pet. However, the evidence suggests otherwise, as Little Rick now has his own dog toys and receives a fresh egg meal and multiple snacks per day. They watch him enjoy himself from inside the house, but Little Rick now comes up to the windows to ask for attention. Stacy says Little Rick's puppy dog eyes are not to be trusted, but she has woefully accepted her place as second favorite child for now. I'm Jen, and I post something positive every day, and you can see more from Stacy on her account, which you can find in the caption. Chunk the groundhog steals fruits and vegetables and shamelessly eats them while he's plopped down right in front of a security camera, and he's teaching his family to do the same. Gardener Jeff has grown fresh fruits and vegetables for decades, but in all of his years, he's never met a match quite like Chunk. At first, Chunk made himself known by sampling each vegetable with a single bite. This left Jeff finding not just one or two fully eaten vegetables, but rather an entire garden of produce sporting just one signature missing chunk. Frustrated, Jeff set up a security camera, but he couldn't have anticipated the sheer audacity of the little nibbler, who seemed to love to show off all the loot he was eating right in front of the camera. And what Jeff expected even less was the way that seeing Chunk on that security camera would change his entire perspective about what he would have previously considered a pest. He couldn't help but find the little guy charming, and he started to really look forward to seeing him. And when the garden became Chunk's new favorite date night spot and he started bringing his girlfriend Nibbles along, Jeff knew he wouldn't be chasing them away. Instead, he expanded his garden and he protected his own crops but created a whole new unprotected section complete with a picnic table specifically for the chunks. Soon, the couple welcomed baby chunks, Nugget, Chip, and Chibbles. Jeff says that he's learned so much about coexisting with wildlife, he doesn't consider them pests, saying that after all, it's their land too, and he just put a garden on it. I'm Jen, and I post something positive every day, and you can see more from the chunks on their tagged page.